So let's move on from here. UFC 250 took place last night. Amanda Nunes in the main event defends her title, her featherweight title this time, against Felicia Spencer in seriously one of the most dominant, just thorough beatdowns that we've seen in a title fight for quite some time here. At least for a successful defense. Now let's go ahead and break some of this down here because now we're at a very strange place with Amanda Nunes. She's cleaned out essentially the bantamweight division. There's a few people emerging now that might make sense in the future, but nothing that really jumps out and says, "Oh, we need to see this fight." The featherweight division, she's cleaned out both fighters in that. So now let's see here now. What's next for Amanda Nunes, the consensus greatest female fighter of all time?
I have absolutely no idea. I have no idea what could possibly be next for Amanda Nunes because there are two categories for fights that Amanda Nunes could be involved in. There's the, oh, she's already beaten her emphatically, and the, oh, she's going to beat her emphatically. Amanda Nunes is someone who is virtually unparalleled insofar as what she's been able to do in the divisions that she is. I mean, I'm going to pull up the UFC rankings here. Now, we can deride the UFC rankings for what they are and how they're made and how much weight they hold, but let's take a look at the rankings. First of all, there are no women's featherweight rankings. So Amanda Nunes has cleaned out that division. Obviously, the Megan Anderson fight is still there, but if Anderson loses to Spencer, MMA math obviously doesn't work, but that's what we got going on at featherweight. And if you look at bantamweight, number 1 is Germaine Durandame. She's beaten her. Number 2 is Holly Holm. She's beaten her. 3 is Aspen Ladd. They have not fought. Ladd is a prospect definitely at this stage, number 3 in the division. So obviously that's a fight that could be made. Juliana Pena, Irene Aldana. And then you go down to Raquel Pennington, who she's already beaten. That rounds out the top 6. I mean, she's beating everyone they put in front of her, and she's doing it in ways that have people calling her the GOAT. And obviously, she's in that contention. I mean, when you look at not only the female fighters, but the male fighters, her resume stands up there. Now, you can argue whether or not the strength of the division or her strength of competition allows her to break into that next level. But this is someone who's going out there and destroying everyone they put in front of her. What's next for Amanda Nunes? I'm not sure. Maybe if she wants to stay at 145, that Megan Anderson fight. Obviously, Chris Cyborg's away in Bellator, but that rematch would have been my pick for the next fight. If you look at bantamweight, I guess Aspen Ladd's the highest ranked fighter who has not fought Amanda Nunes yet. So maybe that fight. But honestly, I have no idea. Who does she fight? I mean, the trilogy with Shevchenko's there, but now Shevchenko's down at 125 and Nunes is up at 145. So you see from the beginning the size disparity that's been there. I have no idea what to do with Amanda Nunes next. She's too good.
So, Pat, I'm going to float something over to you that was suggested in the post-fight press conference. I can't quite make any sense of it, but you're a smarter man than me. Maybe you can. Dana White proposed that Weili Zhang would make more sense than a third Shevchenko fight. Weili Zhang, 115-pound champion. Pat, really?
No, not really. No, this is Dana White trying to milk everything he can out of Weili Zhang. And Weili Zhang fan. I like Weili Zhang. I love what she's done for the division. But if you look at the rankings, I know Michael said we could berate the rankings and he kind of skipped over it, but I'm going to go ahead and berate the rankings because of the pound for pound rankings. Weili Zhang is ahead of Valentina Shevchenko, which is just makes no sense. I'll tell you exactly what's next for Amanda Nunes, and it is Valentina Shevchenko 3. You want to talk about how dominant Nunes has been? There's no question. I mean, she's beaten Shevchenko twice, which we'll get back to because that second one a little but, other than that, she's cleared out the division. She's cleared out both 145, 135. There's no one left for her up there. Then you look at Shevchenko. Tell me if either of you can give me one round that Shevchenko has looked like she's lost since she went to flyweight, I will be in awe because I can't think of a single round where she even looked remotely in trouble. And that includes her fight against Joanna Jędrzejczyk, which she just really easily beat. Was a joke almost in terms of a fight. So let's go back to Nunes versus Shevchenko 2. Very close fight. According to MMA decisions, split perfectly. 10 gave it to Nunes, 10 gave it to Shevchenko, and 2 gave it a draw. By far, the closest fight Amanda Nunes has had since she's gotten the bantamweight belt. And really, at this point, I think the only person that could give her any sort of competition. I don't see Aspen Ladd giving her trouble. I don't see Irene Aldana giving her trouble. I don't see anyone at bantamweight or Megan Anderson at featherweight. I don't see it. I think pretty much the only person that could challenge her and the only person that's arguably beat her since she got that belt is Valentina Shevchenko. Meanwhile, Shevchenko could do Weili Zhang. I know that Dana White's kind of tease that fight, but 115 has plenty of legitimate contenders that Zhang needs to get through first. I think you've got 2 champions in 2 divisions that have destroyed their competition. Let them fight again.
Yeah, I'm down for that third fight as well. I'm
going to push back on the third fight. I'm going to push back on the third fight. Like, to be quite honest, I can't remember what I scored the Shevchenko and Nunes rematch as. Off the top of my head, I can't remember. I think I was leaning toward Nunes in that, but either way, wasn't exactly a barn burner of a fight. That's not nothing about that scream. I need to see this again. Second, Nunes has always had, trouble making 135. Why force the issue to defeat somebody she's defeated twice? And obviously, we see that Shevchenko wasn't as great as she was at 135. She is a true flyweight, and that's where she belongs. So why compromise her? Why compromise Nunes to make something happen that we've already seen twice? And then also too, how about Nunes just sit down for a second? If she doesn't retire, I think if she retired right now, perfect send-off. She can just walk away, defended both belts as a double champion. She is, in my opinion, she is the female MMA Mount Rushmore and knocked out the other 3. So I don't really see the point in her continuing if she doesn't necessarily have any challenges that make any sense. Unless there's big money involved. I definitely don't need to see Shevchenko again. But how about this? How about she just sit down? Her wife Nina Ansaroff is pregnant right now. They're looking forward to a daughter in the next, I think, 3 or 4 months. Let her go ahead and enjoy parenthood for a little bit. Let the division play out. Macy Chisone is out there. Aspen Ladd is out there. Irene Aldana. Let these ladies fight in whatever combination you can get them in, and let a true contender emerge. And if that seems attractive enough, then let Amanda Nunes put down the dirty diapers, jump up in the octagon, and get it on. But I don't think it's necessary to run back a third Shevchenko fight.
Right. And if I may, I know this kind of goes against my entire ethos where I'm kind of the guy who's like, oh, don't do the BMF title because it's not a real belt. Like, don't relax with the interims. I'm very much in favor of sport rather than spectacle. But I'm gonna get a little weird here. All right. So bear with me. What if the PFL, who is now on ESPN and ESPN Plus and is suspended their 2020 season due to coronavirus fears, what if they in the UFC come to an agreement and we get Amanda Nunes, Kayla Harrison, the 155-pound champion from PFL? She won the tournament last year. Let's have some fun. They're teammates at ATT. If they're willing to make that fight, I think that's the biggest super fight you can have, over 125 pounds in the female divisions. Let's get weird.
I mean, I'd be on board to watch it, but PFL doesn't want to see Kayla Harrison go out there and get washed.
Oh, of course.
Like,
yeah.
The promotion right now is built on her back as far as star power is concerned. Ray Selfo ain't trying to see her get demolished like that, because that's exactly what would happen. Nunes will wipe the floor with her. 10-pound difference be damned. But I like where your head's at. That's creative thinking. As long as you didn't say Amanda Nunes versus Clarissa Shields, we're good.
Yeah, I'm gonna. By the way, Derek Chisora just said he wants to fight in Bellator, so that's a boxing MMA transition. But yeah, I'm definitely a fan of MMA fighters fighting in MMA. Everyone else is welcome, but yeah, I'm an MMA guy.
Yeah. Like, just let the sports just like. I'm not trying to see LeBron score a touchdown. Sorry, like
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Although I will say again, I watch it. Yeah, exactly. I watch it, and I will say, when we're talking about contenders at 135, Shevchenko has only lost to one woman at 135 in the UFC. She lost to Liz Caramouche back very early in her career in 2011, I think. But other than that, she's undefeated at 135, and her name is Valentina. I know it wasn't the most exciting fight. I'm never gonna turn on Shev versus Nunes 2 and be like, all right, here we go, action all day. But it was, but it's to me, it's the only competitive matchup. As Mike said, in terms of competition, I don't see anyone else giving Nunes any sort of trouble. I think Shev is the one that could give her the most. Might be a boring fight, but if you talk about the spirit of competitiveness, I don't know who you would put above Shev as a better contender for Nunes.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this though. I do think that the UFC's featherweight division, women's featherweight division, should just be done away with after last night. Like, do we really want to see Megan Anderson get her consciousness rearranged? No. Is there any other women's featherweight on the roster? No. So why are we doing this? Just it makes absolutely zero sense. At this point, I think it just does the sport a disservice for the UFC to continue having a featherweight division, because at least if a couple of these ladies went to Bellator, at least you have like a real division going on there, and the fans can enjoy some level of action. The presence of the female featherweight division in the UFC just seems to be to spite Bellator, if anything else. Like that seems to be the only purpose it serves. And experiment over with, we get it. All right.
I'd say it's that and a marketing tool, because she's the last champ left. So
yeah,
but yeah, I'm with you 100%. It doesn't need to exist.
Just let it go, man.
Yeah.
Let it go.